To solve this question, we'll need to find both the total interest earned on Zaresh's investment in 2 years, as well as Len's, and then find the difference. Before doing so, let's recall that the formula to calculate the compound interest is A equals P times 1 plus R raised to the power T. In this equation, A represents the value of the investment with interest, right here. P represents the principal or initial amount. R is the annual interest rate, and T is the time in years. Now let's calculate the value of each investment with interest, then subtract the initial investment, leaving us with only the amount for the interest earned. We'll start with Zaresh's account. And once we're done with Zaresh, we'll go ahead and we'll find Len's. For Zaresh, we have P is equal to $4,000. We have that R is equal to 5%, or we'll need that in a decimal, so 0.05. Let's scroll up so we can see all of the question. And T is 2, because we're interested in after 2 years. So using this information, we can actually use the formula to find A. So plugging into our equation, we have that A is equal to 4,000 times 1.05 squared. Multiplying this out, we can square 1.05, we can do that off to the side, and multiply it by 4, that should be 1,000. And doing so, we'll end up with $4,410. So remember that A represents the value of the investment with interest. So this is the value of the investment after 2 years. So we're interested in how much interest Zaresh has gained off of this account. So we can actually subtract the initial investment from A, and that will leave us with the interest earned. So doing so, we can find the interest, so the Zaresh interest will equal A, 4,410, minus the initial investment, which is 4,000. So that actually leaves us with $410. This is the amount of interest that Zaresh has earned on his account. So in order to find how much greater this is going to be in comparison to Len's, we'll need to go ahead and find Len's as well. So let's go ahead and do that right below. Or actually, let's note Zaresh's investment, or interest earned, is 410. And then we'll go ahead and clear the board so we can do Len's. So moving on to Len's, we have the same formula that applies. So let's go ahead and extract what each of the variables mean for him, and we can go ahead and do the same process, but for Len. For P, remember, the principal or the initial investment for Len is $5,000 as given in the problem. We have that R is 2%. And in decimal form, we have that as 0.02. And then we also have that T is 2, since we're looking at 2 years after the investment. So we could do a similar thing that we did before and plug into our formula for A. Oh, I think I deleted those guys. Throw those back in. So we have P, which is the initial investment, so 5,000. Make sure that's a comma, times 1 plus R. R is 0.02, so we have 1.02, and all of that is to the power T, which is 2 here. So if we were to multiply out 1.02 and square it, and multiply it by 5,000, we would end up with 5,202. So if we're interested in the investment, so the interest, the interest is going to be how much interest it's gained over 2 years, will be how much money is in the account after 2 years minus the initial investment. So that would be 5,202 minus 5,000. That would leave the interest earned as $202. So now we're interested in how much greater the total interest earned on Zaresh's account or investment after 2 years in comparison to Len's. So the difference in interest we're going to get by subtracting. So to find how much greater the interest is that Zeresh earned, we'll take 410 and we'll subtract the interest earned on Len's account, so 202. Subtracting these, we're left with 208. And those would be dollars, so if we look at the answer choices, 208 is choice C, so that would be our correct answer choice, is choice C, $208.